Dorks of Yore.
There's no such thing as bad publicity. Make it forbidden and everybody wants it. The greatest case in point was the steam tunnels in Michigan. Dallas Egbert III. Now, I knew Dallas before all this happened. I'd met him at a previous convention up there, and I remembered him because this 15-year-old kid was, had flashes of brilliance. Dallas was a very brilliant, unbalanced young man. So brilliant that he'd skipped several years of school and entered Michigan or Michigan State, whichever one it was, at 15. Because he was the last kid, and his parents were basically, no more kids. Case in point, he came home one Thanksgiving, had to break a basement window to crawl into the basement to get into his family home because they hadn't told him they'd be in Europe for Thanksgiving. Very troubled, very troubled. So he disappears, and that really started the whole hysteria because they hired this detective who was the biggest sack of cow crap that ever came out of Texas. And he was convinced that he was wandering lost and possibly dead in the steam tunnels under the university. Because somebody said once in somebody's hearing that some people apparently went down there and explored through them. Didn't say they were players or anything like that, just some people. So he leaped to, oh shit, they're playing D&D in the steam tunnels, and he's lost and dying, poor lad. They were so convinced that Dallas was in the tunnels that they pulled the 3 bulletin boards out of his dorm room. And state police drove them down to Lake Geneva overnight. They'd boxed them so that they wouldn't be jostled because they wanted us to interpret the positions of the thumbtacks and pins. And I looked at Gary, I said, are you shitting me? No, they really mean it. Okay. So I dumped my stuff in my office, came around next door to Gary's office. We spent 9 hours looking at those stupid boards. Nothing was there. Nothing. They even gave us big blown up maps of the campus and that to see if it was a camp. No. When the poor kid was found later, and he wasn't harmed or anything, it's just where he stuck them back in when he took down his papers. That was in the level of hysteria. But it just, sales took off. We doubled our next print runs and doubled them again in half the time that an old print run would have taken, and there it went. And all because a troubled young man had just kind of dropped out. He was questioning his sexuality. He was, like I said, he was a troubled young man. And so he'd gone and just decided to get his head together and moved in with a couple of lesbian friends of his and just didn't have any idea all this shit was going on out around him. Didn't realize he was missing. Not completely clueless.